Hi, I'm Becca Otis from Five Lines Pottery in Indianapolis, Indiana.
And I'm Ryan Durbin from RD Ceramics, located in Southgate, Kentucky.
And welcome to Wheel Talk.
Hey guys, we've loved answering all of your questions so far. If you'd like to hear your question on the podcast, please send them to us on Instagram at Wheel Talk Podcast or by email to wheeltalkpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks. We're live.
That was good, Ryan. That was lower, a little off key, but it was fine.
That's all right.
We're
Like I got a little something in my throat
live. Yeah. Anyway,
There we go.
mine was off key too. That's okay. We're not as good at the lower lives as Chris Birch is, so we can't have everything.
Are you going to record this, by the way, for Skype or what?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I knew I was gonna do something. You know,
And
you can record it too.
I can. That's true.
I knew I was forgetting something. Anyway, how are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's a little slow these days because I don't really have a studio that's like workable at the moment. So I'm kind of between studios. I've gone back to the old house a few times in the last week. I was out of town last week for work, but I've been back and forth from the studio, just really glazing some things and loading up kiln and getting a lot of things ready to be fired. So that's really all I've been doing studio-wise. And then earlier today, I was working on the floors in the new studio because we had carpet down, so we had to cut that out, rip it up. And we're taking I took the tack strips up from the edge of the walls and stuff for the carpet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine nailing those in the concrete floor. Like, they must have used a hell of a hammer. Or one of those, nail guns that go in concrete. Like, it's nuts. So, we'll have to get probably 30 of those nails out of the ground still. So, that should be interesting. But I think Rachel's going to paint the floor this week. And then I'm planning to move things into the studio this weekend. So,
What color are you going to paint the floor?
I think we just got like a light gray.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
How has it been with not much work? Are you enjoying the break?
I mean, it's not really a break.
Well,
I'm going constantly.
it's kind of a break.
I mean, I'm actually itching to get back to like making because I have a list of things that I want to finish up. Like, I was telling some of my shops that like I moved, so I'm like, hey, this is my new address. So if you're gonna mail any checks, send them here. And then if you're not in communication with them a lot, that's a chance for them to like open up and say like what they need. So they're like, I need mugs and I need bowls. And this one's like, I need a restock of mugs and something else. And then they're like, yeah, I just replied to your thing about like the things that you're going to bring the next time. And we're kind of ready for that. So I haven't made anything this whole month, like wet clay wise. So it's a little bit tough, but I kind of set myself that I'm not going to work in any wet clay when I hit the end of September.
Yeah.
Until I was ready. But I'm kind of ready at this point.
You know that place that me, your mom, and Rachel went and delivered stuff to in Ohio?
Where you went and delivered things to?
It was that little town, and then we ate that food at that really
yeah, in Lebanon.
Yeah, in Lebanon. Lebanon. Were they one of the ones that responded?
No.
Damn it.
Why?
I want to go back to that food place.
I mean, you can. You can always make a trip.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you can come visit and we can go there and I can deliver some things.
Okay.
But yeah, I haven't, I feel like I gave them a lot of stuff the last time. But I got a decent check from them recently for the last 2 months, so.
Nice.
Still selling things, but yeah, I'm kind of out of sync with updating my inventory of shops and like actually logging what I'm selling, because I have like checks and lists sitting around that I need to like log.
Yeah.
It's taken me a bit, and then trying to like, still fulfill orders and find things when people order them, like in the studio or the house somewhere.
Yeah. It's a lot.
But yeah, that's pretty much what's going on.
Nice.
All right, how about you? You
I
said
have
you had
a
a story for me.
I have a small thing and then I have a story. A funny story.
Okay.
Okay, so the small thing is my landlord at my personal studio got the electrician to hook up my kiln, so we did the first bisque firing. Hooray! And
Woohoo.
it went well. And I should do a glaze firing by the end of this week. So that's good. That's great. And so
when you say you did a bisque firing, does that mean that you actually filled it with work? You didn't just do the oxidizing the elements kind of thing?
No, yeah, I did the oxidizing elements and then I did a bisque.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you do for people that don't know what that is? What temperature do you go to oxidize? What is that? Like, why do you do that?
Just bisque temp, just 06. It's fine.
Okay.
And you just fire the kiln completely empty. Yeah. Okay, so here's my funny story. So, oh, that was my shoe. Okay, you don't know this probably, but I have this like fascination with old plastic cups, like the old ones that, like the ones that have the facets all the way around and then are like kind of short and have like logos on them and stuff.
Not really. Like, where would you get these cups at?
Or the old cups that you used to get at like Olive Garden for kids cups and like,
oh, okay.
Like those type of plastic cups. Like I love just old weirdo cups like from the 90s that everybody had. And so one of my coworkers, Allie, would always bring in these cups, and she had like, it was from her aunt and uncle. She lived at her aunt and uncle's house for a while, and she would always bring in these plastic cups, and I'd always be like, man, that cup is so cool. Like, because I really like plastic. Like, if I had a choice between plastic, glass, metal, and clay would be last. Glass would be second to last. Metal would be third to last. Wait. Yeah. And then plastic would be first.
So metal would be second, not third to last.
Metal would be second. Glass would be third, and
plastic would be fourth to last. So
fourth to last. Yeah, it'd be fourth to last.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think it's because I grew up with plastic cups and plastic plates, and I just
metal cups. You have a lot of metal cups.
My friend has metal cups. I like them better than glass.
I just think of like aluminum, like reusable water bottles, but not like metal cups, unless you're like a Moscow Mule or something.
No, like they have like metal beer cups and stuff. Or I have like a hydro flask cup, like beer cup. That's really nice that I prefer.
Or like a Yeti or something like that.
Yeah, like that. Anything with a really thin rim is what I like the most. And so, anyway, so I'd always talk to Allie about these cool cups, and then when we went to that show with you and Berea, me and Rachel got lemonade, and we got this like cool retro lemonade cup that I thought was so cool. And it was like, I texted Allie and I was like, guess what? I got this really cool retro cup and I can't wait to show you. And I like brought it into the studio and I was like, Allie, look at my cup. And she looked at me and she was like, wow, yeah, that's cool. Like, not even impressed at all. Like, not impressed at all. And I was like, I'm not going to lie, I was like a little butthurt because I was like, why isn't this cup...
Did you tell her that in the moment? Were you
no,
like...
I didn't tell her
really?
that.
You're not impressed?
I was like, why isn't this cup cool? Like, what am I missing? And then come to find out, like, 2 months later, that cup is literally all over. Like, it's the, like, it's like the lemonade cup for the fairs and stuff. But I've never been to a fair. Like, I've been to the fair, but, like, you know, it's not like a yearly thing. And I guess it's, like, really common around here
It's
for like a
that's
lemon
not
shake up.
fancy. That's everyday lemonade cup.
Yeah, that's like an everyday lemonade cup, and I had no idea. And I was like, why doesn't she like my cup? My retro lemonade cup.
Did she say Becca? That don't impress me much.
She didn't.
And then Shania Twain just starts singing in the background.
That don't impress me much. I told her that story last night because I hadn't told her that, how upset I was. Not really upset, just like kind of like.
So did you just go home and throw it in the garbage immediately?
No, but I threw it in the garbage today. It was just sitting. It was just sitting on my table.
You couldn't use it after that moment. You were
couldn't.
so impressed
It
with
even
it,
had
and
a
then
pink
when she
straw.
shut it down.
It even had a
man.
pink straw.
Rachel still uses it.
Yeah, so anyway, and then I was telling her how much I love those cups again last night, and she gave me one, and I'm so excited about it, so I could take it to work.
Okay. Nice.
So
she parted ways with one of her cups to like
one of her
you.
aunt and uncle's cups, but yeah.
Okay. Love it.
Yeah, so that's my story.
Okay. How's the making going? I know we haven't checked up on Shitty Cup status or anything.
Shitty Cup status is good. That's what the bisque was all full of. Shitty Cups. Mm-hmm. And I've now progressed to tumblers and bowls because I was like, it'd be fun to make some tumblers. Really what that came out of was I don't weigh the clay when I do Shitty Cups, and there was some pieces that were way too big for wine glasses, so I was like, tumbler it is.
Yeah. Yeah, when it's too big and you can't even get your hand around it nicely, and it's like, this is awkwardly tall. Like, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
This is a tumbler.
So we turned that into a tumbler, and then did some fun little bowls, and yeah, and I'm getting all of Rebecca's mystery glazes from the studio. So I'm like taking Shitty Cup to the max. And
yeah, I know that the glazing was a little iffy on your list of what you were going to do, and you didn't want to mix them all up from scratch. And
yeah, so she has like 7 buckets of mystery glazes, so I'm stoked to see how terrible they are or how cool they are. I'm stoked to not even do tests of them and just like do a whole batch.
Oh my gosh. That sounds stressful.
It sounds exciting to me.
Are you even going to do like some of the bowls you were talking about? We're going to have like the bright colored inside, so like you could safely do those and then throw in a few test ones, or you're just going to do like 3 shelves of test ones and like not know what's going to be there?
Yes. I mean, I'm going to do bright colored insides for the bowls with the stroking coats.
Like, I would throw those in a glaze first and then put like 6 of the mystery ones. So like, not sure what they're going to look like. I don't know.
The kiln is not that small. Right.
I know, but you could throw a few in like Rebecca's kiln, like throw 3 or 4 in a kiln and see what they look like.
I suppose I could. Yeah,
you're there every day. Transporting 3 or 4 cups is not that big of a deal.
I think they're going to be all fine. I think you need to have more faith in the mystery glazes, Ryan.
I guess I'm just like, I'd rather test them and see what they're going to look like. And then like layer a couple and see like, hey, if I dip this color over this rim, like it's going to look even cooler.
Yeah, but yeah. Oh, and I got a show. I'm going to a show. I'm going to share a show with one of the girls that I'm sharing my studio with. She signed up for it and then realized that she maybe didn't have the right demographic in mind, so we're gonna split it.
Is it a 10 by 10 booth?
Yeah.
Okay. What is the show? Is it in Indianapolis or?
Yeah, it's at the fairgrounds. It's November 10th through the 14th. So.
That's a whole week.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like a holiday.
Was it a Monday through?
It's a Wednesday through a Sunday. It's like a holiday and gift show. So.
Okay. Wow.
That's in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, you got to have a lot of inventory for that.
Yeah, it's in like 3 weeks, so I got to get my Shitty Cup game on point. Because she was like, I only have expensive stuff. And I was like, do you want me to bring my Shitty Cups and share a booth with you? And she was like, yes.
Nice. Yeah, it's good to balance it out. Plus, it'll give you some like test demographic of seeing like if
Yeah.
people like it, what people don't like, and
Yeah.
it's like low risk for you to do that.
Yeah. So,
Seems
well,
like
not
it.
really low risk, but it's a pretty expensive show, but I'll make it back.
Oh, okay.
It's an extremely expensive show. I'm just doing her a favor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Should I say how much the
Nice.
show is?
That's a long show though. Like
Yeah.
Wednesday through Saturday.
It's
Like, that's gotta be-
$1,200.
Shit. Okay, I was gonna guess at least $700, but
Yeah, it's $1,200.
That's a
So
lot.
I told
Has
her
she
I'd
done
give
it
her
before?
600. No, she hasn't, and she like tried to get her money back and everything, and so she was just like, I'm just gonna go and hopefully break
God.
even, you know. So that's why I was like,
that's
I'll
a big. Okay, that's a big risk for not doing the show before. Has she attended the show before at least?
go. No, I don't think so. She thought it was a
Oh my
different show.
God. Okay.
Yeah, and
Holy shit.
And then she found out that, like, she has expensive stuff, like, really nice stuff. And then she found out the demographic of the show. And she was like, wow, they're going to want cheap stuff. And I was like, I got you.
Damn. Yeah, you gotta have. I mean, you gotta have a lot of inventory for a show that long, especially if it's people are wanting cheap stuff. Like,
Yeah.
imagine how many small things you're gonna need. Like, you might sell out of stuff. I don't know.
Well, that'd be
That's
nice.
That would be nice.
I need to make some more pinch pots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about making some pinch pots here soon. I made some of those like small bowls, kind of like pinch pots, but not quite as shallow.
Yeah.
And sold some at a show. They were kind of like extra pieces, and people were buying them at the last couple shows I did. So
Yeah, because your friend Becca knows the fuck what she's doing.
yeah, I was a little iffy on the pricing of them, but they were like $12 each or 3 for 30.
Oh, wow. Shit.
Yeah,
Nice.
you were selling for less than that, weren't you?
8. I ended it at 8.
$8 each, no bulk discount.
Yeah, $8 each or 3 for 20.
3 for 20. Okay.
And then before that, it was $7 each or 3 for 18. I want to say.
Yeah, I think that's what I sell my shot glasses for. Or no, 3 for 21.
And before that, it was $6 each or 3 for 15.
Damn.
That was the first price.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you might have some pinch pots in your future. All right. So, what are we gonna go to first? Let me read a review first.
Okay.
So thank you all for the reviews. I haven't seen any new ones in a while, but we still got a backlog of them, so I'm gonna read one of them. And actually, I don't look at Castbox that much, but this one came from the Castbox, which is, I guess, a way of listening to the podcast, a different platform. This one came from the Watering Can Pottery, Terry. It reads, I enjoy Wheel Talk because Becca and Ryan are so relatable. Don't take this the wrong way, but they are not polished and pristine. Neither am I. They're just two friends chatting about pottery, business, and life. I like that because when all you get is the pottery and business without life, spouse, jobs, cats, depression, etc., I can feel like I am the only one struggling for balance. I do laugh sometimes at the yawning and swallowing, though.
Well, I've yawned like 6 times today because I'm fucking exhausted, so I'm sorry.
Thanks, Terry.
Yes, thank you. Oh, okay, now it's my turn. Now we're going to do a listener question. It's like we haven't done a podcast in like 3 weeks or something like that.
I mean, we really haven't recorded in at least 2 weeks.
I know, because Chris
Not
Birch
just
was our
us.
last... Yeah, Chris Birch was our last one, and that was a little off, like different. It was so good, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's our question from Emily Russ Ceramics. Hello. I have a question for the podcast, and I'm not sure if it has already been answered. Can a mug bottom or vessel be too thin? Some of my bottoms are very thin because I don't trim. I just smooth the bottom edge with my thumb, but is this safe for use? Should I be doing a boiling water test or something? Ryan, what do you think?
All right. I would say you should definitely do some kind of absorption test Not on every single piece, but at least to give you a baseline of understanding what your clay is doing. That would be soak it in water or weigh it before you put any water in it. I do it in grams, just log the grams, and then submerge it in water for 24 hours, and then take it out, dry it off, all that good stuff, pour everything out, and then weigh it again, log that, do the big number divided by the small number, and then you're going to get a 1 point something. It's probably going to be like a 1.4 or 1.04 or something like that. That's going to tell you that it has like 4% absorption. So you're looking for something that's like between 2 and 4 maybe, if it's vitrified enough to where it's... Is that right, Becca? 2
I
and 4?
think it's 1 and 3 actually.
1 and 3. Yeah, it depends on what kind of...
It depends on what kind of clay. Like porcelain's going to be really low, and then stoneware is going to be a little bit higher.
Yeah, I would say anything over like 4.5 or so should be worrisome.
Yeah,
like you're not firing your clay hot enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely do that, and then do the, what I do before I ship things online. I will do the Keurig. I will run water or like boil some water, and then like hot tea or hot coffee temperature, and then pour that. I pour that in my mugs, and sit them on top of like a piece of
paper,
like newsprint maybe. Just sit the newsprint on your table, put all the mugs on your newsprint, and then put some water in them. Leave it overnight, and then just see like, does it soak onto the newsprint? Is it like drastic? If it's drastic, then that sometimes comes with my clay is too thin on the bottom, and there's like glaze fit issues, and there's some subtle cracks you can't really tell until you get liquid in there, and then you could see it soaks in. So like, even though the clay's vitrified, I wouldn't sell it if it was leaking too much, because it's like, it's going to do that on somebody's table, and you don't want that. So
yeah, I think
that's where the thinness would come into play.
I think a boiling water test would be good. Also, just make your butts thicker. We like thick butts, and we cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny. Because when a mug walks in with an itty bitty waist and a trimming in your face, you get sprout.
A trimming in your face? I don't like no trimming.
I would say make your butts a little thicker. But yeah, and I also if it's, I've had cups that were really, really, really thin on the bottom, and they were fine. Hold it up to a light and look on the inside and see if you can see through it. If it's not porcelain and you can see through it, you have an issue.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah. So it should be safe for use. I mean, you can have very thin porcelain or very thin clay and have it be safe. But you probably want a little bit more, like a 1/4 inch bouteille.
Yeah. And you can sometimes tell, like, if it's really thin and you like tap your fingernail on it, like, you can tell that it's like tink tink tink, and it's like so thin that it's like there's barely anything there.
Yeah, like, could I poke this through with my finger?
Yeah. I mean, even when it's finished, I'm like, this is thin. And you could like see a little bit of like movement, like the clay's not quite sturdy enough to where it like holds its shape.
Yeah.
Like it caved in a little bit, or it like wrinkled a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell, like, ooh, that thing is thin. So I tend to also, like, if it's another characteristic that I see is if it's thin and the glaze is doing some cracking or something on the inside and you can't see it, you will see it once the water absorbs into it, because it'll like, the water gets absorbed into those cracks, and you can kind of see some of those lines of the cracks on the bottom of the mug where the water is absorbing into the clay.
Yeah.
And it like kind of outlines those cracks.
Yeah.
On the bottom of the clay. So that's something else to look out for. That could be like, hey, there's a glaze fit issue, that it's like the clay's too thin. It didn't absorb enough of the glaze, so it like started to crack. So.
Yeah. Hey,
Cool.
you remember how I was going to have t-shirts by the end of October?
Were you?
Yeah. Or something.
Hey.
I found somebody...
Pot swap happened.
I found... Yes. Also, we submitted... Pot swap is over. Well, it's not over, but it's just begun. And we had 724 people sign up. So.
It's only just begun.
Dun, 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 dun. I don't know that song, but I just thought that would go well with it. Anyway.
You found somebody local?
Found somebody local that prints t-shirts, and he'll do like small batches and stuff. And I think it would be fun to go through him.
What does printing them mean? Like what is that? What does it mean? Like what kind of texture is this?
T-shirt?
I'm specific about my shirt. I don't know, like what?
You're not
like,
wearing it, Ryan.
I will wear it.
But okay, here's the thought that I had that was really fun, and I'm springing this on you while we have a whole live audience. Not live, but a whole audience. And I think it would be really fun.
Oh
no. Shut up. To have
throwing towels.
No, well, throwing towels too, but he has this shirt that I think is fucking brilliant, and I actually own one, and it's a white t-shirt, and it's got white vinyl on it that says party, and so you're supposed to get the shirt.
White vinyl? What does that mean?
Like the white, like shiny lettering or whatever.
Oh, the lettering is vinyl? Okay.
Yeah, like that's, or the white t-shirt ink or whatever. The heat press ink that you put on. Anyway. Like what your Kentucky shirt, the lettering's made of. Like
this is screen printed.
Like that stuff.
This is okay. So this is ink going through a screen. So his is kind of like that.
Kinda, yeah.
No, you said vinyl and it's pressed.
But
That's
it's not
way different.
vinyl. But it's like the t-shirt pressing. It's like what Andrew, like your t-shirt from Andrew has.
So it's like a print that's stuck on it and it's ironed on.
Kinda, yeah. That's
okay,
how
that's
most t-shirts are done.
I mean, it depends on the way it's made, but that's an option, yes. So what's this party thing?
God damn it. Anyway, so it says party in white, and then you're supposed to get like it dirty or like colors, and then wipe it off, and then the party shows through the color. And so I think it would be really cool to have white t-shirts that say "Let's get dirty," and then with white lettering, so when your t-shirt gets dirty, it like says it.
Oh, so it's like a trick, like a.
Yeah.
It's like an ink thing.
Yeah.
Like the dirtiness does not penetrate the letters.
Correct.
Okay.
I think we could sell a lot of them.
Where is this going? Is it covering the entire front of the shirt?
It's gonna cover a bit of the shirt, a bit of it.
It says "Let's get dirty."
Yeah, or something.
I'm open to it. I mean, I'm not personally gonna wear it because I don't get dirty, but need to give a couple to like Kurt Hammerly, like wear some white shirts and let's get dirty. His Hammerly ceramics uniform.
Oh my God, we should have one that says "Let's get down to business."
You have literally never said that.
I know. Anyway,
that's an Eminem song.
No, it's not. Let's get down to business. What's the song? It's like dun 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 dun. Is it a show tune?
I don't know what that is.
Shit. I'll figure it out. Anyway, moving on.
All right, so we got some ideas in the works.
Got some ideas in the works. Yes. I'm
just a shirt snob. I don't know. I get so many graphic tees
snob.
over. Get so many graphic tees over time that I'm just like, it's gotta be like I'm not gonna wear a 100% cotton shirt. Like I'm past that point in my life.
Oh my fucking goodness. Okay.
They're too hot.
How do you even know?
How do I know? Because I've wore hundreds of 100% cotton shirts over the years.
I don't even look at the tag. Like
how do you know that they're 100% cotton?
Like,
yeah, you know.
I won't even wear a 100% cotton shirt. You are so...
No, I'm not saying I'm above it. I'm just saying, like, I know that I'm not going to like it because it's going to shrink. It's going to be too hot. Like, I like a breathable shirt.
Oh, my God.
I'm more like a 60-40 fan or 80-20 fan. Like,
We're not talking about beef here, Ryan. Okay, moving on. What are we talking about today? I'm saying what we're talking about today.
I don't know. What are we talking about?
Okay, so we are talking about customers today. And we don't know how long this will be. It might turn into us just jabbering about random shit like we've already done for the past 30 minutes. Or it might turn into a really great thing. Hi, Marble.
Marbs.
Marbs. So, what this came about is that, you know, we have a lot of customers at Graves Co. And I'm not going to say any names or anything, but, like, you know, there's just a lot of customer interaction. And I was thinking about, like, well, actually, there's a few things. Okay, no, I lied. Well, that also, because we have a lot of customers and we've been talking about some of them recently, but also when I was in the panel discussion for the Indiana Clay Conference that will be, I'm going to edit and probably will put it up, I don't know, Halloween or something. Anyway, I said, know your customers. Like, you have to know your customers. Like, is your customer another potter, or is your customer somebody that has no idea that the bottom of a pot should be smoother than butter? Like, you know, are your, like, Rebecca's customers and your customers are mostly non-potters, I feel like.
Right.
And my customers are all potters. A lot
You're
of them.
talking about for your fancy cups or just period?
Fancy cups, but just period. Like, I have a lot of potters that follow me, you know. And, like, yeah, you're right. Like, the regular stuff is not potters, but it's really important to know your customers so you can make pottery for your customer, you know. And, like,
did you get questions at the panel about, like, customers themselves, or you just kind of brought that up?
No, I just brought it up because we were talking about, like, how to sell better and stuff, and I was like, why are you, we were talking about my shitty cups, actually. and I was like, I'm not gonna, oh shit, sorry. I was like, I'm not gonna make the bottom smooth with a 60 or, like, you know, like 120 sanding pad if I'm gonna sell this for $15 at a fucking booth to, like, somebody who's never cared about pottery in their life, you know. But if I'm gonna sell it to another potter, I'm gonna make sure it's, like, top notch, you know. And that doesn't mean that you're sacrificing on quality. It just means that you know what's important, you know. Like, I was like, it's more when you whenever I hear people say, like, I spent so much time on this mug, and then they sell it to somebody who they could have sold it for potentially the same price and maybe not done as many things to it to make it as special, and it would have been just as great, you know?
Right. Because if you sell it to somebody that it was a stretch for them to spend $60 on it, and they get all these, like, bonus features that they don't really care about, and then if you were to sell it to a potter that, like, notices all those features, they're like, I got a steal on this mug because it was $60.
Yeah. And that's not to say that it's not, like, that's not to say that our audience and our customers are dumb or anything. It's just that, and not that they don't appreciate the finer things, obviously, but, you know, like, we've talked about it, like, seconds bins, stuff like that. Normal people love that shit. They love it if it has something wrong with it. They don't care. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I sanded a handful of pots back when I first got my sanding pads. Like, bottoms of mugs to, like, make them super smooth, but, you know, at shows I tend to, like, have to tell them. Like, a lot of them, like, I asked a customer a few weeks ago, they bought a mug or something. It was one of two mugs that looked kind of similar, and they bought it, and I was like, showing them the bottom, I was like, can I ask you a question? Like, was it a factor at all that the bottom of this looked fancy? Because it had, like, the zigzag bottom on the mug. Normally my mugs are flat, but that one had like a zigzag cut off because I did it. And she's like, oh yeah, I didn't really notice that very much, but yeah, that's cool.
Like,
but it's
oh,
like,
cool.
you know, yeah, somebody else would be like, oh, that's like unique. Like that's unique just like the glaze is unique in the shape
Right.
and like the fit. So it's like, oh, that's
Yeah.
neat.
Like, I don't sand the bottoms of my pieces, but what I will do is I will take a 60 grit diamond sanding pad to a show, and then when they hand me the mug, I'll do a quick sand, to make sure that it's smooth on the bottom. And that's it.
I've gotten back to sanding my pots actually. Not like sanding like 3 sandpaper like numbers, but I'll take the 120 or I don't think it's a 120. It's a 240. I just take a 240. I mean, all my stuff is white clay for the most part, and then I do have some of the speckled. So I'll just do a quick like 15 seconds or 10 seconds on the bottom of each piece now, which is good enough.
With just a
make it
hand
smooth.
sander?
Yeah. I mean, I'll dunk it in water with the Diamond Core pad, the 240 one.
Yeah.
And I'll just do a few circles for 10 seconds and call it.
Yeah. The way that I've been doing the shitty mugs, actually, the new ones, like the last ones definitely needed to be sanded a little bit, or else they were going to fuck up somebody's table. And that's what I did with my, like, hand sander. But the new ones shouldn't actually need to be sanded at all. They're super fucking smooth on the bottom just because of the way that I did them.
Mm-hmm.
So I shouldn't have to do anything to them. But, yeah, so...
I think I started sanding because I heard a comment from Amy from Trice Studios.
Uh-huh.
She was saying there was a customer that somebody said something was like, I don't want a $50 mug to scratch my $300 table or something. Like if you have a nice table or like a dining room table or a coffee table, like you don't want your mug to be scraping a nice.
Oh, absolutely. Like you don't want to have it like super fucking rough. Like don't be that person. But also if you
not that I'm like sliding mugs on tables, but
right. But also if you have a $300 table, like get a coaster. Like fuck. Anyway, moving on.
True, but I mean
anyway, like these aren't sanded. The Gravesco mugs aren't sanded, and they're not super rough. They're just like
based on the process and the amount of detail that she has with her systems and whatnot. Do you like? I could see her if they decided to sand. They would factor in the price and they would add a little bit to the price, right?
Yeah, but I mean, he has the water sander if he sees something that's a little bit fucked up on the bottom. He just he has a bowl with the sander in it, the sanding pad in it, and he just does a quick scrub. But I mean, generally pots over time get smoother because it's just like they go through the dishwasher, they do all the things that it naturally sands them down. And I'm not saying have a super fucking rough bottom on the bottom, but like you don't have to smooth it so that it's shining, Isaac. But I mean,
this looks like a polished stone.
Yeah, but Isaac is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Like, he has 2 separate lines, right? He has his line for his like, locals, and then he has the fancy cups that he sells, and he smooths the bottoms of the fancy cups super fucking smooth because he knows that half of the people that are gonna get those those mugs are potters or people that appreciate pottery. You know? Mm-hmm. And the people that he sells to in Kansas, I guarantee you that he is not spending 15 minutes sanding the bottom of a mug that he sells to his wholesalers in Kansas. Like, that's the thing. It's not that he's sacrificing quality. It's just that he knows that they don't give a fuck if...
But it's also, like, production. I mean, do you want to be making 100 mugs that you have to sand?
No.
Like, some things you're just like, okay, I'm just going to take a simpler step here. The price is going to accommodate for it.
Yeah.
My time is going to be accommodated for it. And it's, I don't like to call it, like, fancy, not fancy, or, like, I just call it, like, production and efficient versus, like, detailed, and I don't know.
I've definitely heard you say a basic bitch mug before.
I mean, basic bitch, yeah. But that's like me calling it that. I'm not going to say I'm selling you a basic bitch mug to a customer.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, I see it as like a time and efficiency thing, like, and your price, like, you can sell it at that price, and you're making money based on the price, and that you're going to sell a big quantity of them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but what I'm also saying is that, like, but when I'm, like, the whole thing is he knows his customers, and he knows that he can do certain things, and he has to do certain things for certain products, And so
it's interesting that it's just a matter of who gets them in the end, is that the person that's getting the super sanded one is online, so they're not actually getting a feel for it when they're buying it.
That too. That's another thing. Sorry. That's another thing. When you're online, you have to make sure that your pieces are like on point, right? When you're selling online versus when you're selling in person, because your customers online are expecting what they see online. And the customers in person pick up a mug and they're like, oh yeah, this is it.
Yeah, they have to like meet or exceed expectations, because it's a fine line there when you get it online. You don't honestly know what they're thinking when they open the box, but you hope that it's like, hey, this is what I expected and more.
Yeah. Hi, Charles. Wow. Something's in my throat.
Drink up.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely like a certain protocol that you have to have online. Have you ever had Oh, go on.
With there are some forms that I don't sand, like shot glasses. I'm not fucking sanding those.
Right.
They're so small bottoms. Like I'm doing these in quantity, so churn through those. Do what I can with with mugs or whatever. Just thumb off the bottom. Like that's pretty smooth.
Yeah.
And then some other pieces like, if you trim a bowl or whatever, just quick sand. Not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I've just figured out there's little things that'll improve it just slightly. It also gives me more peace of mind that, like, okay, it's a little bit nicer. I think I've thought about it more when I started using the speckled clay as well, because it is rougher, like you can tell. So
oh yeah,
I just started sanded those first and foremost, and then that's when I started like, okay, let's just sand all the white clay ones too, because it'll just make them a little bit nicer.
Yeah. Have you ever, moving out of sanding, because that's not really the point, but we went there. Moving out of that, have you ever had a customer that you like fired? Have you ever fired a customer?
Not really fired. I think it's more just when you have that. It's more apparent when I have the custom order that I do the back and forth with them, and see what they're expecting, see if it's feasible. If it's not in my ballpark, I'll say, I don't think I can do that. But I can also get, I'm getting better now that it's like, if this sounds like something I'm not going to be interested in and the price is not going to make it any better, then I'm just not going to continue to go down this like pathway, because that's when you keep going back and forth the conversation, and then the customer on the other end is probably like, okay, they're interested because they've gone this far into the discussion to like see what I want, that if you shut it down at that point, then it's like, what the hell are we doing here? So like I feel like there's more room for like disappointment or like aggravation from their side. So I'm trying to get better about like shutting it down earlier. I haven't necessarily fired anybody after I've like committed to something necessarily. Like a hard commit, like they've paid me a deposit or,
yeah,
something like that. But yeah, I haven't had that scenario necessarily. How about you? Have you fired somebody?
I've hired a few people, actually.
Okay. What kind of orders were they?
I Okay, well, one of the first orders that I got, I actually fired. It was like this like workaround, and um, it was just a lot. And I was like,
This
you know what?
workaround, as in like you were doing something for their situation to like make it work for them, but
Yeah,
it
like,
wasn't really
and they were
beneficial
like,
for you to
"Oh,
do.
can you do this?" And I was so new that I was like, "Yeah, sure, I can do that. Like, yeah, maybe I could make pink." And and
Oh,
and then afterwards, I was like, "You know what? This isn't gonna work. Sorry, we're done. Like, it's not. No,
so it was a glazed conversation. It wasn't a forum that you weren't comfortable
it
with.
was both. It was a forum and a Clay's conversation. It was just like, it was just a lot." And so,
Okay.
but I did it nicely, and I was like, I just can't do this. I'm sorry.
Did you do that through email, or is it
I think it was through Messenger, but yeah,
okay?
yeah,
Did she understand? Did she accept it? Fine, or
yeah, yeah. It was
that's good.
fine. It was really early on too, so I didn't have like a good grasp of what I was doing and like how I was doing things and like had any business anything at all. But I've had a few like blow ups with customers, and I've thankfully um like I thankfully if a customer kind of like we didn't agree on stuff and they were too picky or anything like that, I I would just like avoid them. I'm like, yeah, just forget about me. It's fine. There's there was one lady.
So you forget about them intentionally in
Yeah.
hopes that they'll just forget that they asked you something.
Yes. Yeah.
That's like the cold shoulder. That's like, please don't look at me.
Don't look at me. There's this lady in Leavenworth that was my customer, and she was really pretty picky, and it was not a good relationship, and I just kind of like dropped it, and then for years afterwards I would see her at the market and I would like run away and hide.
And then she's like standing outside your booth, like looking around, and you're like, "Is she gone yet?"
Pretty much.
Actually, that does remind me. I did have a customer that I was trying to do a custom order for that was like a really large bowl. I might have talked about this before, but it was like a 12 or 16-inch bowl, like across diameter wise. And I was kind of spitballing a price early on because I'd done like 8-pound bowls or whatever, and I was like 12-pound bowls, or you do a certain diameter of a bowl of like 8 or 9 inches, and then you're like, I need to do something that's 12 or 14 inches, and you're like, okay, I've done something close, but once you scale that up, and you're like, okay, now I got to go from a like 9-inch diameter bowl to a 12-inch diameter bowl. Like, that's a lot more clay, that's a lot more variables here
Yeah.
of like trimming and form, and it was very specific about the like the profile of it and the texture involved, and then the color. So it was a lot. I ended up making maybe 2 of them, and then I was like, I can't quite make this size, like, and it's not really exactly what you want. Like, are you fine with this? And if so, like, I will abide by this price that you said that we agreed on, but if you want it at this other like thing that we initially agreed on, I'm gonna have to charge you more.
Yeah.
So we just ended up kind of parting ways, and I think I ended up selling that bowl for more money anyways, because I just I underpriced it a lot.
Yeah.
So that was the only time I would say like fired.
Yeah.
I mean, the only other situation I would say that was closer to like firing somebody, but it wasn't even a customer. It was like spitballing ideas of like a potential order. So like I wouldn't say that I fired them, but it's just like you go down the path of what do they want, and they're like, can I get like 10 of these? Or they say like, can I get 10 of these spoon rests? And if so, can I get a certain price for them? Or they're like, do you offer discounts if I order so many? And I'm like, I'll offer discounts. Here's what I would do if it was at this quantity or more. And then they're like, what if I get like 50 of them? Can I get them even cheaper? So then they're like, you're back and forth. And then they're like, and can you ship them to the Middle East? And I'm like,
No.
and then you're like, oh gosh, I should have just said no early on because I knew that I didn't want to do this anyways.
Yes.
So it's like, and then that's where I'm talking about, you get down the path of like discussing this, but you're not committed yet. Like, you still have an out if you want to have an out.
Right.
So like, I ended up saying like, I'm interested in not doing this order. Like, no thank you.
I'm interested in not interested in it.
Sorry. Yeah, I worded that wrong. But it's like, you get down a path and then they got aggravated or whatever. And I'm like, hey, there's a number of reasons that I don't want to do this order. Ultimately, the price doesn't matter. Like, you could get 50 of these and it's actually going to be worse on me. I don't want to make 50. I don't even want to make 10.
I think it's so important to be able to say no and to be like, I think that especially like early on in our careers and our like pot journey, we feel like we have to take all of the money no matter what. And like, really, if you take all the money all the time, you're losing money,
Like, capture every single opportunity that comes your way. It's like,
Yeah, some opportunities waste your money and they waste your time,
Yeah, that's not the smartest business decision.
Yeah, and I think that you just have to be able to, like, see the red flags almost, in a customer.
Like, yeah, if there's something that's like irking you a little bit early on, like, do you think there's going to be something dramatic that like drastically improves the situation?
Right.
That would like make it way better? I mean, I'm not saying it's out of the question, but like, there's little things that can like add up.
Yeah.
Like somebody starting off and asking about a discount early on, like, how much back and forth are you going to go with them, and are they going to be happy, or are they going to be picky, or
Right, and also, so like I'm thinking about a customer that's not mine, but in order to get this customer, the prices had to be a certain amount, and because it was a high volume customer, it was it was like, okay, well, we can do that, but then like it continued to be an issue, and now it's like you're barely making any money, like the profit margin on those pieces versus the profit margin on the regular line pieces is like so significantly different that like, is it even worth it,
Yeah, and you really like made a sacrifice for them to say like, I'm willing to do this for you.
Yeah.
But
and when does
in
that
return, I will need to like increase it. Like, this is to get your business initially.
Yeah.
But
yeah, there
at
needs
this
to
point,
be some.
I'm going to need to get back to normal so that it's beneficial for both of us.
Yeah, there needs to be some, like, that's also the biggest thing, right? Is that, especially with like wholesale customers, like, if you're wholesaling to another small business, it should be beneficial to both of you. It can't be like a selfish thing. Like a lot of people that it's like the typical markup is what, 50%, like, or 100% really, because double.
Yeah, right.
But like, when you're selling such high quantities and stuff, and once you get into like gnarly business shit, it's like 5 times the price that you have, and
right.
At what point is the potter being appreciated? Like, they're not,
Plus, also, if they're going to buy wholesale, they are taking on risk by buying things at a discounted price in certain quantity. So, like, that risk is taken on so that they have a belief that they can sell that and make their money back and make more money based on the profit and stuff. So, it's not without risk to do that. I mean, that's kind of
for sure.
the point. It's way easier for you to like take consignment and say like, I'm going to take 40%, but it can sit on my shelf and I don't pay for any of it until it sells. Like,
Totally.
That's an easy thing. As long as you have the real estate in your shop, then like that's easy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just crazy, you know, like it's just what we do for customers and what we do for people to make them happy as opposed to them making us happy is really interesting, and I've been thinking about it a lot recently.
How much of it comes back to just what you like being confident in what you're worth and what your time's worth and what your mental state's worth, that you have to be a little bit more firm and like let people know that your stance on something, or you know what you're willing to be fine with and what you're not willing to be fine with, is really just for like the long term of like having to make all those pieces. If you're gonna agree to something early and then you're gonna have to go through the whole process of making these, and then it's gonna be like a drain on you because you're like, I should have got more money, like I should have been firmer.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're gonna resent them, and like, and then they're gonna come back and want another order at that price like down the road or something, and then you're gonna be like, ugh. And then you feel like you have to, but it's like, you know, you have a second chance to say like, hey, this is my new price.
Right. And they could say no, and they could say yes. You know?
Yeah. I mean, ideally, you would have a good like, I would say execute as good as you can with that first experience, because you don't know. Like, hopefully you have a repeat customer with them, or hopefully you have a repeat experience with them, so that like, if you execute really well, the cost to them and like the investment to the risk to them to go with somebody brand new that costs the same amount or a little bit more, like between what your new price is and what your old price was, like they have that ground floor of an understanding of what they're going to expect from you and what you can execute on in a timely manner and how you communicate with them, that like it's safer for them to stay with you and go with the higher price than it is to like have the unknown of somebody brand new that they've never interacted with.
Yeah. I remember when I did that job with Starbucks. God, that was such a fucking shit show. It was like, so they asked for samples and shit, and so I sent them samples and everything, and oh my god, my pots were so bad. But they did I ever tell you that I was using paper plates as bats?
Yeah, we talked about that in one of our episodes where we were like doing stuff cheap studio.
Yeah, I used paper
hacks
plates
or
as
something.
bats. Anyway, because I had to put slip on them and I didn't want to move it, so I would move it onto the paper plate and then I'd recenter the piece and then I'd put the slip on. So anyway, we agreed on a certain amount, and I never got it in writing or anything.
Quantity or like price?
Both. Price and quantity. And the price never changed. And I could have probably charged more. But, so the price never changed, but I, had a set quantity, and then they would come back with, like, different amounts, like, every couple weeks. And, like, I had already made all of them, and they were like,
Do you mean they were lowering it, or
they were
increasing
lowering it?
or?
Yeah, they lowered it. And they were like, oh, could we actually have 20 instead of 45 of these? And I was
way
like,
lower.
Yeah, it was a lot lower. And I was like,
'Cause you're
and I was so young and so, like, felt like I had to please them that I was like, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I have
feel
like
like you're
so much
beholden
extra.
to the big Starbucks name, that it's like I'm
Yeah.
grateful that they even want my business,
Yeah, and
and then they just like tell you what they want. I mean, I don't know if you had minimums at that time, but that's where you're like, you've learned at this point that it's like,
yeah.
minimums are important, and agreeing to a contract of like, this is what we're gonna do, and
Especially
this is the
with big
timeline,
companies, because big companies are the worst. And it's not because they're big companies, it's just because usually they don't work with small-time people, so they don't know. They don't realize what.
And they also have probably like 3 different people in the decision making. You're not talking with one person, probably.
Right. Yeah. But it was just like, it was such a like start an abusive relationship like at the beginning, and I was like, ugh. And I remember it just left a really bad taste in my mouth. And everybody would be like, how was that? It was fucking terrible. Like, it was terrible, you know? It was horrible working for Starbucks. And
was it both on both parties though? Like,
oh
if
yeah,
you
for
were
sure. I
at
had
a
no
more experienced state, you could have
yeah, I had no
had a
idea
better
what I was doing.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think that just goes to show you that, like, if somebody wants to take advantage of you, they will. And you have to be strong enough to be like, no, 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 no.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like it's better mentally just walk away from something if it's like gonna give you a headache and
Yeah.
it's not gonna be worth the money.
Yeah. Money. Yeah. Sometimes I just wish that we lived on trading. Just trading goods. That'd be nice.
Trading goods.
Yeah.
Like old time Monroe, where you were trading some pots for
Hell yeah.
dinner at this place and
Hell yeah.
bar stuff from the next door neighbor and
Those were the good times. Yeah. What were you talking about? You had something that you wanted to say that you texted me and then I ignored.
I mean, it was you ignored. It was just talking about customer service. I mean, I kind of mentioned a little bit of that. That is, I would say, front of mind with just how you interact with your customers, and just like I mentioned earlier, you know, try to live up to what you say you're going to do. So like, even when you're early on in discussions, like I try to be as honest as I can with them. That is, you know, I'm moving right now or whatever. So like my timeline is 6 to 8 weeks. It's longer because I'm moving right now. Hopefully they understand that. Like if it doesn't fit that timeline and they say I need it in 4 weeks, I'll be like, sorry, I can't deliver in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to desperately shift my schedule and make unrealistic expectations of what I can deliver, and it's just going to stress me out way more than to overpromise and underdeliver. So I would much rather underpromise and then overdeliver, so like you get it done quicker or it's better quality. I tend to do a pretty good job of, you know, packing my stuff and reducing the amount of breakage and,
Yeah.
you know, making sure that I put like paperwork in there with the, you know, the little pamphlets if people want to like give out things with their orders, or you know, just taking care with your communication with them. When you write up your invoices, make sure that it's like detailed and it has, you know, what are the items, what are the quantities, what is the price you agreed on, what is the timeline. Include a photo of what you kind of talked about, of like what are the pieces that are going to be included in this. I'm kind of talking to wholesale, but it could be just any custom order or whatever. So because I've been doing more like shot glass wholesales lately, and I'm just kind of like adjusting, you know, what I'm promising and just making sure that I'm not adjusting my promises, but like making sure that I'm standardizing it a little bit.
Yeah.
But also, if it's a customer that's coming in and they're saying like, hey, I want to buy like 30 of these shot glasses for my wedding party. Like, okay, they're gifting them, right? So
Yeah.
like, you're not going to give them a wholesale price because they're gifting them. So they'll say, is there a discount for this? So I'll discount them from $8 a piece to $7 a piece, because I would sell them for that at a show. I would sell them for $7 a piece at a show if they buy more than 3. So I'm like,
Right.
they're buying 30. I'm willing to do that. And then I say, like, I like to handle this off of Etsy because it's like a commission. I can't deliver it made to order, or it's kind of like made to order ish, but it's like communicating with them that, hey, this is what I'm comfortable with. This is the price I can give you. You know, don't feel like it's scripted of like, this is exactly what I would say to anybody, but you know, this is what I'm willing to do. What colors are you comfortable with? I can do a variety of colors. Having those Etsy listings of just all the different colors of shot glass options I have has been like amazing for getting customers that want to know what colors I offer and like what quantities. I've probably like bulk orders of shot glasses. I've probably done like 7 or 8 bulk orders of shot glasses this year just from the Etsy listings. So
Yeah.
so people stumble, and then I'll just get random orders all the time of shot glasses. Like I'll probably ship like 6 or 10 shot glasses every week. So, yeah, having those on Etsy has been amazing. And then, yeah, just sending them the invoices in a timely manner, putting reminders on there so that you don't have to bug them. They get reminded every couple days or whatever if they haven't paid it yet. Not shipping anything until it's actually paid for. Making sure you're communicating with them that like, hey, I'd really like to ship this out tomorrow. I can't ship it until you're paid for. Just like, don't leave things open to where it's like, okay, I'm not going to communicate with them. It's on them to communicate with me and like reach out to me. Like I'd rather get out in front of it and say like, hey, your thing's about to ship out, but I need payment or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just try to be pretty upfront and like think ahead of what kind of questions they could ask you and try to be putting those into your responses to them so that you're getting ahead of it. And you like, it also just makes you sound like you're more professional with it. You're not just like willy-nilly with your processes, that you're like, okay, this is what I do on a standard basis or on a regular basis. I've done orders for wedding parties and like they get 30 of these. Do you care what colors? Do you want to mix and match? So, yeah, I guess that's kind of the customer service part of it. It's just making sure you're upfront with them. Like, I'm not trying to, and I'm also like not trying to seem like I'm bigger than I am. Like, it's just me.
Yeah.
So it's like, I need this amount of time to do this. So I guess that's a good, I don't know.
I really like
Do you have
phone
anything
calls.
from that?
I really like phone calls. Like, what I found to be the case for me, at least, is that I'm pretty great in written word, but I find that, especially with pottery, people expect a certain thing, and like especially with like wholesale accounts and stuff like that. So like mug clubs or something like that. I found that if I just pick up the phone and be like, okay, let's talk about this. Like, what are you looking for? Like, what do you want? Because then I can tell you if that's not going to work or it is going to work. And it can be a really quick conversation as opposed to like going back and forth on email, like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then after that conversation, type out an email saying, okay, per what we just talked about, this is what the expectations are, and this is what this is what I will be doing for you, and this is what I expect from you, like payment to be at this date, blah 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 blah, and this is the price, and this is
Right.
So I found that phone calls are extremely helpful. But yeah,
Do you tend to remember things from a phone call, or do you jot notes as you're talking with them?
sometimes I'll jot notes for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Or
I feel like I like the written email because it's like a log, and I don't.
that's why I said to
Phone
take
calls are
notes
just-
and then do an
phone
email
calls are just
after
such a-
confirming. Yeah, but
Yeah.
the phone call is to like really like I've done mug clubs where they had a completely different thought of what they wanted, and then I was like, okay, but this is what's possible, And it would have taken 15 emails to hammer that out, and it took a 5-minute phone call.
Yeah.
And that's why like you can be in front of your computer and typing out an email at the same time as talking to them.
Yeah.
But it's
I just don't like talking on the phone, so that's not my style. Like, I will reply to an email at 12:30 at night and not feel bad about it, but if I have to pencil in a phone call that I don't know if they're going to pick up, I don't know exactly what the situation is going to be like. Am I going to be... I feel like the email gives me an out a little bit. Like, it gives me a delay in what I have to commit to and what I'm comfortable committing to. That a phone call is like, I'm on the hook right now. So if they ask me something spur of the moment, I can't, like, craft... I like to be prepared. I guess that's where the back and forth kind of gives me a little bit more of a confidence in what I'm replying with.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Oof.
I don't know that I've ever like talked to a customer on the phone that's like, I want this custom thing, and this is what I want over the phone. I've
Really?
almost never. I mean, no. I mean, I'll talk with like a consignment shop over the phone, maybe. But, I don't really talk with like wholesale orders or things like that over the phone.
Wow.
I'm just all email.
I try not to do email. I'm like, it just doesn't work out for me.
I'm just so good with email. I don't know.
We're so different.
I like the log of just being able to look back and say like, okay, this is what we committed to.
Yeah, no,
Or
I'm
like,
I'm
this
definitely
is the last time that I talked with them, because
Yeah.
I will leave emails unread until I get back to these people. That's like, okay.
I definitely still use emails and as logs, but like I said, I'll call them on the phone and then confirm everything in an email. So,
Yeah.
which is just as good. Yeah.
Was there anything else in my message that I said about customer service? I can't remember.
No,
Did you pull it up?
not really. I did pull it up and then I put it away. It says, okay, I feel like I could overlap a bit with customer service too. Handling customer requests, speaking to them at shows, if they ask for something, knowing your boundaries, meeting expectations.
Yep.
Yep.
Under promise, over deliver.
Under promise, over deliver. C's get degrees, guys. C's get degrees.
What'd you say? C's to get degrees?
C's get degrees. Why
Oh,
is
okay.
that not a common saying anywhere? Literally, my mother told me that when I was in college. C's get degrees.
Okay. Maybe it's regional. I don't know. Maybe
I
it's
don't
just
know.
your family. I've never heard that, but I mean,
It's
it makes
like
sense.
all you have to do is get a C. All you got to do is get a C, and that's how you're gonna like get through this, you know.
Yeah.
Or
I don't know. I wonder like, I don't know. I would imagine as a wholesaler, like buying wholesale, you probably get all kinds of clients.
oh, I'm
right?
sure.
I would imagine reaching out to some people, they're not as organized. I know I'm always pretty organized. I might take a few days to get back to you, but I'll be organized with my response. But
Oh, I remembered what I was gonna say. Yeah, I'm not always organized, almost ever. But I like to keep a pretty, straight and narrow. But what I was also gonna say is what I really appreciated with my wholesale clients. A lot of them followed me on Instagram, and I would like post updates so that they kind of like knew where they were in the mix. And
okay. Did you
yeah.
tag them though?
Yeah,
as you were making
sometimes
it?
I would tag them, sometimes I wouldn't. But like, yeah, it's nice, and it's
Yeah.
nice to be like if you're having like a rough week, be like, this week was so long. Like,
Yeah.
make it very known that it was a long week, so they might, and then send them an
Because
email.
of their order.
Yeah, or something, and then send them a message being like, by the way, it might come 2 days later. And then they'll be
Oh,
like,
okay.
oh, I saw your Instagram story. Looks like you had a
Love
rough
it.
week.
Yeah, I actually do get some back and forth with like consignment shops or a couple wholesalers maybe that'll interact and be like, give me thumbs up or something. I do like tagging them as I'm getting it close to being shipped or being packed up, because I feel like it gives them something to share for their customers to be like, hey, look what's coming to the shop, and it's actually like handmade and it's being worked on right now, and it'll be in the shop next week or something. So like,
Yeah.
it gives them something to get excited about because they're about to get a new shiny package, and then they're like, my customers will like this. So I
Yeah,
think that's pretty cool for them too.
for sure. For sure.
I feel like we talked a number of times about like customers at shows too. I'm getting more comfortable about, if people ask me for certain things, I'm just like, go to this person, or sorry, I don't make that. Or
Yeah.
like recently people were like, I'm at the plate phase, I'm trying to buy plates. I'd be like, I make plates, I don't bring them at shows because they take up too much table space. And honestly, it really just breeds more questions about, can I have you make a whole set of plates for my dishes? And I'm like, I just don't honestly like making plates that much.
Yeah, you're just like,
So
not
I
my
just
cow.
don't bring them.
Not my cow.
So I told her that, and she's like, yeah, I get it. Like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
I just don't even bring plates anymore.
I
haven't made a plate in like 2 years.
Well, even at your show at Berea, I like you would be like, Becca, who do you know that does this? I'm like, oh yeah, this person. Like I have like just all of these names in my back pocket of people that make certain things that I don't want to make, that I'm just like, here, go spend your money with this person, you know.
Do you make any hand warmer mugs? Nope. John Schmidt Pottery does, though. You should go check him out. They will sell quickly.
Yeah, for sure. How about, like, I was thinking about some of my favorite customers. I have this one customer that, she's been a customer of mine for years, and she is down in California, or over and down in California now. And when I left, she was like, I have this gift card from you, and I was planning on getting a whole place setting. And normally I would be like, sucks for you. But
sorry,
like,
I don't make place settings anymore. I left those in Washington.
Right, but she's like one of those people that I was like, once I get my kiln, I will make you an entire place setting. Like, count on it, you know? And
plus it's a gift card, so it's like,
right.
Oh, man.
And she bought it specifically for the place setting. Yeah.
Oh, so it's a big gift card then.
It's like $160.
I mean, that's not enough for a place setting, but...
I know, but it was like... Or maybe it was more. It was one of the gift cards flash sales that I did that was like... If you buy it in the first 20 minutes, you get double.
Oh my gosh. Do you regret doing that?
No, I don't. Because most of
that's,
the
I mean, that's an easy way to just get cash, and then people just don't reuse them, right?
Yeah, it was great.
I feel like there's something wrong here with doing that, but
is there though? I mean, like,
it's still on them to redeem it. So
yeah, a lot of people did redeem them. I hadn't planned on selling the shop. Like, the shop was a long-term thing for me, so it just turned quickly. And
yeah,
of course,
that wasn't a going out of business flash sale gift card.
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of people bought them for classes. You know, and used them for classes.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, you just save money, right? That's like, I did that at Queen City Clay. They did a sale like that when they were moving, and they were like, you know, spend $100 on a gift card and you get $125 worth or something. Yeah. It's like, and I'm going to spend money there anyways. I'm just going to buy it.
She was one of the very few that was out of state that bought a gift card. Most everybody was local. But yeah, so anyway, I still have to make her a place setting. But...
Nice.
It's like those customers that are, but you just have such a history with them. You're like, I'll make you anything. I will literally make you anything. Like, they're so easy to please, and they just love everything that you do. And you're like, tell me what you want. like, you want 35 plates? Fine. Let's do it.
Love it. Yeah, I don't have any. Usually my customers that I interact with a lot, I mean, I'll see them at shows a lot because it's local and I do a lot of local shows, so I'll see them over and over. I don't really have like a relationship like that with them where it's like back and forth and we're like really chatty and all this stuff, but like I acknowledge that like they support me and like keep seeing me at shows, and then they'll make comments like, hey, I use my oil bottle all the time now. I got this from you last time, and it's really nice. There's a couple that I saw at the show in October that I've seen like 3 times or 4 times. Like, they bought from me multiple times. And it was initially like, hey, she reached out, and she was trying to buy something for her daughter's wedding. And it was she actually came to my studio and looked at my stuff in the studio and got like a pitcher and a serving bowl, I think.
Yeah.
And then she got like a mug for herself. So she got those 3 and like bought it directly from my studio, which was cool. And then I saw her at a show, I think like 6 months later maybe, and her daughter came with her, the one that she gifted it to. So like they were shopping again, and then she was like, "Oh, I got your picture and stuff." Like yeah, that's me and whatnot. So she got to meet me, and then they ended up buying something else. And then I just saw him at the show last week or last month, and earlier this month. And then they bought like, hey, I just bought 4 mugs. 2 of these are for a wedding gift for this couple, and then 2 of these are for another couple. So it's like they just keep finding ways to support me.
Yeah.
And just keep finding, it could be like somebody comes to their house and acknowledges that they see their pottery and they're like, oh, that's really cool. Or they're just like, I want to give them a gift for their wedding that's not off a registry because that's boring.
Right.
So, I feel like those are some of the better customers that it's like, hey, she gifted to her daughter and now her daughter's coming, and then, her daughter bought some things and then she bought some things, and so yeah, they're pretty supportive. They stand out to me now because I saw them at a show most recently, but I have a few of those kind of customers that I'll see over and over, and it's nice to interact with them.
Yeah, for sure. Customers can be terrible and they can be like the best. And that's what's frustrating.
Yeah. I feel like the more risky ones are for those bulk orders. That's where I don't get intimidated by like the individual like custom orders, because it's easy for me to like shoo that away because it's just one thing, and I know like it's not going to be worth that $60 or $100 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm fine with that because like, hey, I can sell like 3 mugs and make that amount of money. Like it's not going to kill me.
Right.
To say no. But if it's like a wholesale order, it's like, yeah, I would like that because it's like $250 or $300 or whatever. And it's something that you just have to make a lot of the smaller things, and like, hey, it should be relatively easy.
Yeah.
As long as their timeline is realistic, and like if they're trying to like rush the timeline or they want a bigger discount or something, then it's like a little iffy. So those are a little tougher, like, but also, I'm pretty firm with my timeline. I'm firm with my minimums. I think if it's like shot glasses, I might lower the minimum because you can make a lot of shot glasses to hit $250 or $300. I think my shot glass one might be $200 worth.
Yeah.
Because I just generally have a lot of those in stock all the time anyways, or I'm making a lot of them anyways. So, but yeah, I mean, and it's not like hard and fast. Like, it's always $250 or $300. Like, if it's mugs, I might set the minimum at $300 or $250.
Yeah.
But if it's shot glasses or like spoon rests, I might lower it to like $200 or $250. Like, it's all right. You can adjust it. It also is like how much do I enjoy making this thing.
Right.
Like, if I don't want to make 75 of these, 75 mugs or something, it's like, it's like, can we try like 30 and make sure you're happy with them?
Yeah.
And then I bill you for 30. I deliver the first 30, and then we see like what the next, I don't know. So
I don't really have anything more to say.
okay.
Do you have more to say?
You're talking about is that I feel like you said there was a wholesale order that was waiting for you when you got there. Is that the one you're talking about? The place setting? Or was there a wholesale order that you said you were going to have to do when you got your studio up and running?
No, I think it was the place setting.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like a setting of 8. It's like an 8-piece place setting.
Yeah. But that customer sounds like they're just going to enjoy it, whatever it ends up becoming.
Yeah, and she's like followed me for a long time, so I think she knows that. She for sure knows that I would not forget her. And she knew that I was like waiting on a kiln. So.
Yeah.
I gotta make them. I just have to see if she wants speckled clay or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now we have.
Do you ever feel guilty about leaving people hanging a little bit with their timeline and like I get it, like I promised this to you, or I said I could do this, and it's like I don't not want to do it, but it's like the timing of things. It's like there are pressing things that I need to do, like restocking for shows. Like I can't show up to a show with half of my inventory. So like that has to be priority to get things in the works.
Do you know what's like the biggest like oof like the biggest oof of my life is like when people say take your time.
So you never want it?
Yeah, so you never want it. And then like it's literally taken me a year to make one bowl. And what's worse is that like you put it on a piece of paper and literally all the things that you've been putting off for a year and a half took half a day to make. Like half a day. And
I find that a lot with like experimental pieces. Like if it's a brand new form that I've not made, but it's like within my wheelhouse, like the jigger, the shot glass thing. That's like I got to a point now they're bisque fired, and they're like ready to go. I've got like 10 of them. Mm-hmm. I need to glaze them and stuff, but it's like it took me so long just to make them. Because the first time I made, like, they're just shot glasses, but, like, the first time I made them, the tiny shot glasses, they dried out too quickly. So, like, I keep putting it off because I'm, like, every time I make shot glasses, I'm, like, well, I gotta baby these because they can't dry out too quickly. I gotta sponge off the bottom, and I gotta, like, score it and put it with the other one and make sure that, like, they're the same consistency. So it's, like, it's little things, but it's a timing thing that's, like...
Yeah, it just like scoots to the end of the list. It's just like scoots its own way down. Just scoot on down. Oh, another thing happened. Scoot down.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll get to you on at the end of this week, and then you're like something else pops up between now and the end of the week, and you're like, okay, well that's gonna take priority. I'm gonna focus on that. Yep. Yeah. Keep scooting. Like literally, somebody contacts me in like February about something, and they're like, I don't need it like now, but like I'd like it, and it's like let me experiment and see if I can give you a price. Like I don't really know, I'm not confident in this thing, like this is a new thing, but at this point I'm like this in the back of your mind that like you keep thinking about this every now and then. I wonder if the customer is thinking that, like, oh, it must be it's going to be fucking amazing because it's taken them like 9 months to do it.
I just count on them forgetting.
And I still have that email marked as unread so I don't forget about it. But it just looms in my unread folder, and I'm like...
And in the back of your mind,
I don't want to do this.
No!
And then it's like, if you brought it up to them and said, I know that I promised, or I said I was going to do some of this, but I guess at this point I made some samples and like, I just can't commit to doing this. Like, would that even be in their mind that you even promised to do this? Or is it just something that just didn't work out and they understood?
Yeah, like, is there a point where you're just like, can we just agree to that this isn't going to work out?
Yeah.
I just like my neighbor ordered a bowl and that's the bowl that took a year. Like
your next door neighbor?
Yeah, I saw them every day pretty much. For a whole fucking year.
Do they ever throw a little comments in there like, hey, how's my bowl going?
How's my bowl? And then it was like, it was just sitting there and the cats would get in it and stuff like that, like Bist. And I would just, like, look at it and, like, not glaze it.
Oh, it was bisque fire, too.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Was it just, like, it's one of those hurdles where it's like, it doesn't fit in my glaze bucket. Fuck. I'm just not going to glaze it.
Yeah. Yeah,
and then you're
probably.
Like, then I gotta find a bin that's big enough, and I gotta pour it, and is it gonna look consistent? I gotta wax the bottom, and I gotta put this on a banding wheel, or
And then you give it to them, and you're just like, just take it. I don't want your money. Just fucking take it.
It's out of my life, and that's good enough for me.
Like, I I'm sorry it took me a year.
Oh my gosh. I have one of those situations going on right now. It's like my she's never gonna listen to this, but my aunt is asking for a bottle. She's called me like 2 or 3 times or whatever. Like we've communicated through Facebook.
Yeah.
And she wants an oil bottle.
Okay.
You know, I think I have an idea what color she wants, whatnot. And we talked like once through Facebook of like, this is what I think I want. And then she's like called me. And I told you earlier about the phone call. Like, I'm not going to pencil in a phone call because I don't know when you're available. You know, I'll fucking call at 9 o'clock at night. I don't know if 9 o'clock at night's too late for you. I want to pencil it in for 6 p.m. after work, but it's like, I got shit that I want to do because I'm off work. Like, I don't want to call somebody. But I'm almost going to be to this point where it's like, here's an oil bottle. Like, is one of these good? All right, take it. Like, I don't even want your money.
Just take it.
Because then they're going to be like, how do we pay you? And if I send them an invoice, like, they're probably not going to be able to pay the invoice online. They're more like a check or cash person. So it's like, how am I going to get it to you? Like, I'll ship it to you. I don't even need the money. Just, I'll ship it to you. And then that feels like, am I really just like, I can't even talk with them for this period of time? Like, they're such a nuisance to me to talk to them. We've had this communication for like a month and a half now that it's like we've never got to this point. Like, I assume that's what they're going to ask for, but you know,
we are something else, aren't we?
the phone call is such a fucking hurdle for me. I do not like returning people's phone calls. You like talking
Did I
on the
ever
phone,
tell
so
you
you're
about
like,
did I
okay.
ever tell you about Beatrice?
Yes, you did.
Did I ever give you did I ever play you the recording of her?
Wait. Of you saying that you're Beatrice?
No.
Is that what you're talking about?
Okay, no. I had this customer once. Her name was Beatrice.
Okay.
And
No,
this is one
we
of
did
those.
not talk about this.
This is like a paint your own pottery customer. She was like 70 something years old, but like an old 70 something or 80, and she could barely walk. She used to be a missionary. She's Jewish, and she wanted me to make her some plates that were flowers, so that she could do like some Jewish sayings on them. And she wanted to paint them herself, but she had like really shaky hands, so I ended up painting them. But she would come into my studio like every Tuesday and hang out with me. And I just want you to listen to this. So her name's Beatrice, and she called me when I moved. She called me after I closed the store and when I moved. And
She's like, I'm standing outside the store, and you're not here. I see closed for business.
yeah,
What's going on?
basically. So I'm, but just
Oh, really?
just wait.
I just made that up. Okay, let's hear this.
Hello, this is Beatrice Ruley, and this is Friday the 19th of March, and I'm calling to find out, are you still working with ceramics? I wonder if you're allowed to have me come to your place, and where are you located? If you could call back.
Oh no, I deleted it. I didn't mean to delete it.
You can go to recently deleted and recover it probably, if you want to keep that memory of Beatrice.
I kind of do want to keep that memory of Beatrice, but that's another phone call that I put off forever because I was like, I can't.
Oh, no.
I was like, I don't know how to call you back and tell you that, like, I'm not there.
I closed.
Yeah.
And I moved, yeah.
That was tough. That was a tough one.
Oh, that is tough.
Yeah.
Did you make that call?
I did.
That was in March. When
Yeah.
did you make that call?
I made it. It was pretty recently because it was, she's like 80. I can't keep her waiting that long.
Okay. So you did it within like a week or two?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
But I tried
That's
to
not too
make
bad.
sure that it was when I could leave a message instead of talk to her on the phone.
How do you know, though? How do you
Timing.
know what time's good?
Usually dinner time is a good time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because you're probably calling a house phone at that point, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah.
At that age?
Well, you're calling the caretaker's phone, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyway. Beatrice.
I was mixing up Beatrice with your
Oh, no, that was Beatrice
your
as well.
video. That was Beatrice.
Yeah. Hello. My name is Beatrice. I like to sell these cups. Would you like to buy these cups? They are for sale.
These are the shitty cups.
These are the shitty
man.
cups.
All right. Anything else about customers? And I feel like we talked a roundabout number of things here. I don't know if it's just customers, but
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if this was a helpful episode or not, but we have to have some duds.
I think there's a couple gems in here. I mean, everything can't be a fucking home run here, Becca.
That's
I mean, let's just be honest. I mean,
Everything
some of
can't
these
be a
past
fucking home
episodes, you
run.
listen to it, it's like, I mean, what the fuck were we doing here? Oh, great.
Fucking A, man.
Oh. We need to get together again soon. I don't know when, but we'll figure something out.
Yeah, because I want to come see the house when it's all decorated.
You mean when there's not boxes every single place?
Yeah.
I mean, there's boxes everywhere. It's getting a little bit more organized, but
Yeah.
I'm just ready to get this kiln here. I think I'm going to get a kiln here this weekend.
Sweet.
That's one of my goals for the weekend.
Nice.
Get the Olympic over here. We got the wiring done. Just plug it up, fire it up, open the windows, open the doors, let the heat go out, and
Is there a window downstairs?
there's a window in that area where the kilns are going to be, but it doesn't open. It's closed. We're gonna have to drill a hole through the wall to do the venting. But
Concrete wall?
yeah, I had to get a concrete bit for that. 4-inch bit.
Fuck me, man. What the hell?
There's no siding, so
That's gonna take forever.
I know. My dad's gonna help us do it on Halloween weekend.
Fuck.
I mean, I suggested, I was like, Dad, can we just like, I mean, we can knock out this window and just get some people to come install those glass blocks in here, and we can just install one of them that's got the little vent on it and just hook it
Yeah,
up
why
to
not
that.
do that?
He was like, that's a new window. Like, you don't want, I'm like, I don't really care, but I mean.
Oh, don't. Put the window out. Just take the fucking window out. And then put a little fan in there so you can blow heat out in the summer.
I mean, it's going to be vented.
Fine.
Blow heat out in the summer? Heat out of where? Out of the room?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to vent.
I know, but it's just venting the kiln. It's not venting the whole room. You could just put a little fan in there.
Yeah.
Like a farmer fan.
I mean,
not
I don't-
a farmer, like a greenhouse fan.
Yeah. Like you were talking with Josh about for the. Yeah. I mean, I'm open to that. I would almost rather do the like glass block thing. I don't know if that's a quick install though.
Yeah.
Or if that's like a 3 or 4 week thing to like, hey, come in here, smash my window, put some blocks in.
Yeah. I mean, you could just put some fucking plywood up.
I'm not gonna do that.
Well, I mean, for the time being. I put
I'm
a
not gonna
vent.
break the window. The winter's coming. Like.
That's true. I put a vent on my kiln. First ever vent that I've ever put in my kiln. And I'm like trying to fucking drill it in the bottom of this fucking kiln. And I call Rebecca.
You're trying to drill what? You're trying to attach the like vent cup to the bottom of it?
Yes. And because I've never done this before, and I did not look up a video. And then I'm texting
I don't think you
Rebecca,
attach it though.
Just let me finish my
Go ahead.
story. And,
Go ahead.
and I messaged Rebecca, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I can't put this in the bottom. It's not fitting. And she goes, oh, I just propped it up with bricks. And I was like, damn it. And so
Is
that's
it
what I
like
did.
mine that has the screw and the like adjustable like foot so it like actually goes up and down to the bottom of your kiln?
No, we do things the white trash way around here, and it is literally a dryer hose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you need to make sure that it's a certain height so that it like is actually right against the bottom of the kiln.
Yeah, well, it's not.
Right.
It's
Close enough.
It's close enough. But really the vent is for the landlord.
Yeah.
It's for the fire department. It's not really.
And it's deceiving. Like, I didn't realize when I first got my vent that the holes that you're drilling in there are only like 3/8 inch holes.
I
Like,
did a
and
quarter
there's
inch,
two of
but
them.
yeah, there's two.
Yeah, it's not like a big hole or anything. So
Yeah.
yeah. So we'll see that the kiln's coming along. Hopefully we'll get that here. The wiring was hell of a task a couple weeks ago. But we got it. That wiring is not cheap either. That was like my dad and I did it, and my father-in-law came over. I don't know if we talked about this, but we did all the wiring for the kiln. My dad does outdoor electrical work, so like he knows what the fuck he's doing. And that wire cost like $300.
Yeah, it's expensive.
And then I was like, Dad, what would this have cost if you had like an actual electrician like do this? He's like, it probably would have been like $1,500 to do this. Because we literally spent the entire day.
Yeah.
It was like a day and a half job.
Yeah.
To run. I think we ended up running probably about 90 foot, maybe 85 foot of wire from the box to from the breaker box to the kiln area. And we've got 2 receptacles. So pretty nice, but yeah. That's why it's like, that's one thing. It's like you don't want to be moving a lot because that shit will rack up.
Yeah.
Plus it's like that, just the task of doing this and like moving kilns. Like, I don't want to have to move kilns. Like, I hope I don't have to move these kilns again for another like 10 years.
I've moved so many fucking kilns.
I'm dreading moving the L&L because it's like got that back spine on it that's like attached. So I think I'm just gonna move it in a U-Haul or something so I don't have to.
You have a friend that has
separate
a
it into
trailer
pieces.
you could borrow?
Yeah, I think we're gonna do a U-Haul though, based on the timing of it and stuff. Might be able to get that on a dolly or something and roll it, and then I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, we put mine on a trailer and then borrowed a trailer from one of the guys at my studio and then put like 5 pieces of cardboard down and then put the kiln on and then strapped it in and then took it.
So you wrap the kiln in cardboard around it, and then you strap the cardboard to it?
It was a bare kiln. We just put cardboard down on the bottom.
Oh, okay. Because
And-
you didn't have the stand was just on the side or whatever. You just
stand went in
didn't
my
want
car.
it scraping on the. Gotcha.
It took 4 people to move it off of that trailer. The fucking cone art kilns weigh so much. Me and
Plus
Dusty,
the lids are like cement or like the lids are so dense, right?
they're very dense. Like, and the bottom's metal. And like you don't want to take it apart because like the whole back, the whole like lid lifter and everything is like all connected. And like
Yep, just like the L&L.
I was like, I don't want to fucking take this shit apart. Like, no, thank you, no. And so
I did it once to get it into my CRV.
Yeah.
Into my Rogue, and it was a nightmare. Like the springs on that thing, like springing up and shit. It's like, oh my god, you're about to kill somebody with that thing springing up.
Yeah, and like it. Yeah, I was like, I'm borrowing a trailer, and so I borrowed it for like 3 hours, and yeah, but it took 4 people to get it off. It's so fucking heavy, and then we moved it. Me, Merritt, and Sarah moved it. The 3 of us from the pallet to the stand, and it was still a pain in the ass.
Actually, I think I am gonna have to take it apart.
Why?
I don't know that I can get it. First off, our fucking back doors are so fucking tiny. Like, and there's 2 doors that slide. You can't remove one of them. You can't remove both of them. You slide it open, it's like 28 inches across. Like, it's not even a fucking door frame.
Yeah.
Like, width. So you have to bring it down the main stairs. And that's like It's wide enough to get a washer and dryer up because we did move one of those up. But the heaviness of a fucking kiln going down that, I don't think that's going to happen. So we're going to have to take it apart.
That sucks. So sorry.
Yeah.
So sorry.
I'm not worried about the Olympic. Like, I've moved that one in pieces. It's already a little bit fragile anyways, but...
Oh, yeah. Olympics are easy to move in pieces.
Like, yeah, that's fine. I've moved that. But the L&L, that's... The lid assist is the deal breaker here that's going to suck, but...
Yeah. Fuck.
We'll figure it out.
You'll get it.
Yeah. Maybe you can help move that one.
Nope. Nope. I will not be present that weekend. I apologize in advance.
Not know that
I am not that friend.
You will be transporting a kiln.
Not that friend. Thank you.
All right. Well, anyways, we'll get the studio. I want to start throwing some things. Once I get the tables and stuff in here, I'm going to start throwing some things next week, hopefully.
Good.
Maybe I'll throw some shot glasses, get back into it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
All right. Y'all got a little extra 10 minutes there at the end. Enjoyed it, hopefully.
Just jabbering. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Yo, yiggity yo. It's Becca here. Hey, just so you know, thank you for listening. And also, we have... What do we have again? A Patreon. We have a Patreon that you should go, and if you want to donate to, you could donate to it. If you don't, that's cool too. But just Google Wheel Talk Podcast Patreon. Don't do the other one, because there is a Wheel Talk on Patreon, but it's not us. So make sure you get the right one. It's in the show notes. And also, leave us a review because they're fun to read. Okay, bye.